I'm going to add these two fractions together. My problem says 3/5 plus 7/8. Before I do that, I'm going to go over the common mistakes that I'm seeing. People are really struggling with mixing up the rules. It's easier to multiply fractions than it is to add them. The rules for adding the fractions is that you have to have a common denominator first. With multiplication, we just multiply numerator to numerator, denominator to denominator. So with a problem like this, what I'm seeing is people not finding the common denominator. Alright, so to find the common denominator, I'm going to use multiples of 5 and multiples of 8, and I have to find one that they have in common. Alright, I know that it's going to be 40. So what I am going to do is rewrite my fraction where I have 40 as my denominator, and it's an addition problem. Now, what I'm going to do next is ask myself, how did I change that 5 into 40? Well, I multiplied by 8. 5 times 8 is 40. So I need to do that with a 3. 3 times 8 is 24. This is probably the third most common mistake, is people change the denominator like they're supposed to, but then they forget to change the numerator. In the next one over, I need to think about, well, how did I make that 8 40? Well, I multiplied by 5. So now I need to take 7 times 5 and I get 35. Okay, now I'm ready to add. I don't do anything with my denominators. So I just bring it over. I have 40. 24 plus 35 is 59. Which brings us to the last most common mistake. People aren't simplifying. This one, to simplify, I have an improper fraction, and we don't like improper fractions, so I need to turn it into a proper fraction. So I'm just going to read my problem. Remember, this fraction bar is division. This says 59 divided by 40. 40 goes into 59 one time. When I subtract, I get 19 as my leftover piece. To complete my problem, I'm going to rewrite everything. 1 is my whole number. 40 was my whole. This 19 is my part. It goes back on top of my fraction. And I cannot simplify 19/40ths, so I'm done at this point. Watch this video as many times as it takes to understand that process of adding fractions. Remember, the four things that people are most likely to do is mix up the rules. Remember, we have different rules for multiplying and adding. To add, you need to find a common denominator if you don't have a common denominator. After you do your addition, you need to simplify. And then I should add, the other mistake is when students do find the common denominator, they often don't change the numerator. So remember to change that numerator too. Thanks.